back, everyone.
Welcome back, and I am waiting for my jetpack, so I'll go to space and do some stuff.
What you gonna do in
See
space?
what do I want to do. I think I'm gonna try to set up Chocobo. Oh, I just realized I can't do that. Can I? Maybe I can. There we go. I'm gonna set up some Chocobo pens
Okay.
and get ready to start actually getting some Chocobo up there, because I know nothing about their breeding cycles.
They're breeding
Probably gotta-
cycles.
Their breeding cycles, you know, they're cycles.
I'm finally replacing all these stupid fucking pipes. I'm almost done doing that. Actually, I was doing it off camera, but yeah, almost done.
I mean, do you think Chocobos enjoy breeding?
Who doesn't?
Well, so according to something I watched a long time ago, it might have been a porn, I don't know, but they stated that there's only 2 species in the world that enjoy the act of sex.
How do they
That
know?
all
Did
the
they
oth-
like interview them?
So I don't know, and how would you know that the one? So that's what throws me off too. Is how would you know that the one does enjoy it versus the other one's not enjoying it? Like, what is your distinction to say? Well, obviously that guy enjoyed having sex right there, but that guy did not. He was just doing it to mate. Like, I have absolutely no idea. But what would you think? Because I don't know if this is true. I'm just going to spread falsity. So, guys, take this at as fact. I am telling you distinctly. Of course, this is absolutely true. But what would you think would be
The two?
others? Well, besides humans, because humans is one of them.
I feel like dogs are the other, and the reason why I say this, but see, okay, as I say this, the reason why I say this is the fact that that dogs are humping everything all the time, right? So they must enjoy it. Now, but the question
I see where you're coming from with that for sure.
the question I have is is the criteria the male and the female of the whatever enjoy it?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. This show that I was watching, I just remember watching it in some type. I thought it was a documentary, and it was a documentary about a specific animal. Is why I remember it, because otherwise it would sound like a porn thing. I have no idea. So I don't know what the criteria was. I just remember them talking about the fact that there was only these 2 animals, or these 2 species that enjoyed the act of mating.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was gonna say dogs, because like I mean, dogs they don't care. I mean, they don't care if they're humping a female or whatever the opposite. I mean, the male dog doesn't. I mean, but then I guess. So then I think about like you don't. I mean, but then you see female dogs doing the same thing. Like every dog my mom's ever had would like they'd fuck the shit out of the whatever stuffed animal they had. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think dogs would, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, so dogs was not what this guy said. So he said it was dolphins.
Dolphins are rapey too.
Are they?
Yeah, dude, dolphins
know
will
that.
will hold down a human being and rape them.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know this.
Dolphins have
Do
been
they
known.
hold them down with their flippers?
I don't know how they hold them down, but dolphins have been known to rape. I'm not making this up. This is a real thing.
Are you sure somebody wasn't making up the rape story? Because I've never.
No. There's like video of it.
There's video of do the dolphin still claim he didn't do it?
It's like Mike Tyson's got videos or cameras in all his hotel rooms. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you see dog, but see, all right. So I call bullshit with this because, what about monkeys?
I mean, maybe we're not as much like monkeys as they want.
Well, see, the reason why when you say dolphins, I think about the fact I've seen the dolphins do the thing where they
do the thing. Oh, God damn it! I made this.
well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, where they, where they'll like they'll take, they'll masturbate, right? They'll fuck like a dead fish in their pen or whatever inside of a zoo or whatever. And
Oh, I did not know that monkeys were known for fucking dead fish.
no, that's dolphins. But what the next thing is, there's tons of videos of monkeys raping frogs. They'll take a frog and they'll fuck his face.
Frogs?
Yes, yes. The frog is the fleshlight of the jungle for monkeys.
Interesting. Do you think it's because of the? Is it the psychedelic frogs only? Do you think the?
I don't think
It
it's
does.
I don't think it's a thing where they're getting off in multiple ways. I think they're just getting off one way. It's a one-way street of fuckage.
Interesting.
And then you have sea lions. They rape penguins. So I call bullshit completely on what you've seen. This is
And I would agree with you, like especially based on the fact of documented cases of monkeys fucking frogs faces, apparently, that could be complete bullshit. It was one of those things that
yeah. No, sometimes the things are wrong, and this is one of them. I'm going to go with this is completely wrong. We're not
Trying to think-
allowing this.
What other animals would I assume? Because you're right, dogs do just try to do random things all the time. Like fuck whatever they can. And why else would they do that if it wasn't enjoyment? Because, or do you think? Because I guess that's the weird thing about instincts. Like when like the story. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm assuming this one's true, but it's like been out there for so much. But like praying mantises.
Well, they just eat the heads right after so they don't do it more than once. It's a one-time trip, right?
Right. And so do you think that the male praying mantis enjoys it and it's like the my life is complete type of death? Do you think that it's just purely because of instincts that they know it's what must be done, or do you think they just have no idea because the females are in like a little cult together and tell each other about the oh god damn it, I just made a fucking pick and I was trying to make an axe. I'm an idiot.
I don't think that the male knows it's coming. To be honest with you, I don't think he knows he's about to get.
So why does the female know that every time she fucks some dude that she's gonna rip his head off?
I don't know why praying mantises kill their. I don't know why.
I mean, it just seems so weird, right? Because if the male doesn't really know what's coming, how do the females know to do it?
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't know,
Damn
man.
straight, I'm right. I don't know what it means though. It's all just weird and scary.
You know, I feel like I made the parts for this Astro Miner. I remember after we recorded our last session on Tuesday.
Oh God, yeah, you were so excited about that Astro Miner. You
Right,
did.
I forgot, and then after we got done recording, I was going through the video scheduling them, and I was like, this motherfucking Astro Miner. But the thing is, I could have swore I made some Orion drives for it, and I don't.
You definitely made a bunch of stuff for it. You were like all excited to get it like up and running.
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. And
I'm trying. People are probably so mad at me right now. I'm trying to make an axe out of like random material because I'm curious what will make an axe. Shiny. I want to make a shiny axe.
I'm gonna have to redo this. So if I did do it, I apologize to everyone, but I'm gonna have to
Ooh,
remake
shiny
these
axe.
things. Ooh, shiny.
It is. Ooh, shiny axe. Ooh, piece of candy. Yeah, that's it.
Diamond.
Because I don't quite understand, and how would a researcher understand the differences of instincts versus pleasure in the first place?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think this is something you can just like. How do you what kind of I don't buy into this
What-
study at all.
Like, what's your control?
Yeah.
Like the control is the asexual dolphin versus the sexual dolphin. Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't make any sense. This is the slowest fucking axe I ever made. Fuck you, shiny axe. Do we have a good axe somewhere? Like a super axe?
Somewhere. I remember making that one that chops down a whole tree. Is that what you want? Why do you need an axe?
Well, I put a fence line in one row over where I wanted to put it. So I'm trying to take out the entire line.
Oh, just use a mattock. Hold on. Do I have my mattock on me? A mattock is like an axe and a shovel in one.
And it's fast, though?
It's pretty
Because
fast.
apparently a shiny axe is not fucking fast at all.
Here's my mattock. I mean, it's
Like,
just a
I'm
still
throwing
mattock.
it on the ground. It's so, like...
I don't know how fast that'll be, but you can see for yourself.
It says it's Got durability, mining speed 10, whatever that means, and 3 remaining modifiers. We could probably make it
Yeah, you could put a bunch of
auto.
redstone on it. It'd be real fast.
Is it redstone that makes it fast?
I think so.
Well, I'm
Just on
doing
that
it.
speed. Yeah, haste.
Redstone. We'll go do this, and we'll chop down this fence like it's nothing. Yeah, people who study animals, like, I envy them in the aspect of I think it's really cool. Oh, there's so much stuff in there anyway. In the way that I think it's really cool that they study this thing that, other people can't seem to, get down. They have all the knowledge that nobody else does, but you think half their shit's just made up?
I don't know. I don't think it's made up, but I think they probably come to some hypotheses that are not always correct as well.
And then they spout it off as, like,
Fact.
truth. Yeah, and that's where.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that they think that they're just making shit up, but I think there's occasions where they're just wrong.
Well, and isn't that kind of part of the problem, though? Is I think that happens in a lot of cases. Is people don't think it's so. I've watched Making a Murderer. I've listened to Serial podcasts. I don't know if you've listened to or seen any of those. I'm taking that as a no.
Oh, I didn't know you were wait. I was gonna let you keep talking. Sorry. No, I have not watched any.
So
of those.
I mean, they're about like these cases of murder where there's a question on do they really have the right person. Essentially, is what it comes down to. So there's all these online forums and stuff that are going out and trying to do their own investigations of this stuff and to find out like what's real and what's not. And no matter what you read into, it could be the most. I can't say perfectly because obviously not perfect, but the most standard or investigation done by the standards that it should have been done to, or one where you feel like everything you see is just pure police corruption. So many of those things are just based off of an opinion that somebody is so determined is fact that it steers the way that they do an investigation.
Yeah.
Whether it's a right opinion or a wrong opinion, but it's the same thing with probably all these like researchers. They're going to see something, even though they're going to think they're being completely, this is a, scientifically based hypothesis, there's still got to be opinion that's thrown into all that stuff. And that's why, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've had dealing with the court before. I'm not gonna go into specifics, but a ruling was made that this is what happened because that is the procedure. And meanwhile, the person that did the thing, the procedure, had been fired for negligence shortly thereafter, so we couldn't even subpoena him to court to testify because he no longer worked for the state.
Because he got fired.
Right, but then the ruling was made that his job had been performed correctly because it is the procedure. This is the way that this thing is done, therefore it was done that way.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, so I've always had an inherent problem, especially after reading all these cases, with the fact of why is there a prosecution and a defense? Why is there prosecuting attorneys and defending attorneys? Why wouldn't you just make a goddamn attorney who can look at both sides of things as opposed to being like, I must fight for the fact that this person is guilty, or I must fight for the fact that this person is innocent, despite what the facts say. I'm going to do whatever I can to make it look like whatever I'm fighting for is right.
right.
Why not make some way that you? Oh, I guess I understand why you'd have to have somebody that's so completely non-biased. It'd be really hard to determine who's non-biased and not, but somebody who can kind of look at everything and then go, at the end of it, be like, so this is what happened. This is what the defendant says happened. I don't, this doesn't make any sense to me. This doesn't work right. However, this part of it works toward a defense. This part of it works toward a, people get, the juries and stuff get so misled because of shitty prosecutors and stuff. Like shitty attorneys for both sides, because they're so focused on saying things that you're either innocent or you're guilty, they will not heed weight to anything else. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Jeff, obviously a system can't work like that. You can't have somebody fighting for both sides. And I get it, but when you have people, it's like Republicans versus Democrts. type of deal.
How is
I
it
don't
like
know.
that though? How is
It's
it?
like that. No, it's so like not two sided. It's so one sided. Of if you're a Republican, quote unquote, you have to think this way, and if you're a
Yeah.
Democrat, you have to think this way. Like if you're a prosecuting attorney, you have to think one way, and if you're a defending attorney, you have to think a different way, a complete polar opposite way.
Right.
Why can't there be a middle ground? Why can't there be the independent attorney?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. That is a frustrating thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and I get why there can't be. It's just, but it's frustrating. Yes, there's been lots of frustration. I don't know if I could do it. I really couldn't do it. I used to think that I would be a good lawyer, and I don't know if I could ever be a good lawyer because I'm too. I take in all the facts and weigh all sides of things when they happen.
yeah. I don't. Like you said, I don't think you can find someone that's so unbiased that they wouldn't. I mean, that's kind of like that would just be basically saying like we don't need a jury, just let the judge decide.
And well, in some cases they're like that. Some cases do let the judge decide.
I think you can always. You think you can always petition for a jury, though, right?
I think you can ask for either it to be a jury trial or a judge trial. I'm not 100% certain, though. Luckily, I have not had to be too involved with the law, but unluckily, I'm not well versed enough at the way that our legal system works that if I ever do have a run with the law, I'm going to be fucked. That's kind of the
Yeah.
back and forth with that part. If you have a run-in with that, I kind of wish like I had some minor run-ins with the law when I was younger, because then if something major happens in the future, especially if it's something major that I'm like wrongly accused of, that I have an understanding of the system to know what I'm fighting.
I think the most important thing is, as much as you're talking about, lawyers suck and everything, is to never say anything and lawyer up. Don't speak at all. Always get counsel before speaking to the police about anything, because they are not on your side. And I mean, I
No
don't
matter
know-
what they say.
Right. I mean, and this was advice that came from my dad that was a cop, and in my experience, that's some of the best advice I know. And that's not to say that cops are bad people or anything like that. If anyone's taking it that way, it's just it's their job. They're doing their job, and their job is to come to in often cases it's to prosecute you, or to put you in a position where you're going to hang yourself. So always have counsel.
Well, if they arrest you, it was for probable cause, and they want to justify their probable cause.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad was a cop too, so I mean, I'm not offended by anything that you say. It's funny, my dad has always told me, he said if I ever was in jail, he would not pay my bail unless he thought that there was something extremely wrong with the situation. Because he's like, I've been a cop for years. If you're in jail, there's a reason for it. I was like, okay, thanks, Dad.
Wow.
Appreciate it. I know I got a ticket when I was younger, and that's where it's kind of nice to have your father as a cop. Is when I got the speeding ticket, I went to the magistrate hearing to see if I could get it like reduced so I didn't have any points on my license, and I tried what I can, like have my dad go there with me because maybe he can do something. And my dad said, I'll talk to him and see if I can, help with like any professional courtesy or anything like that. And my dad was very professional about it too, and I listened to him. But it was funny because the first thing he said is, he walked over to the officer who gave me the ticket, and he's like, so, I just gotta ask, I'm with that gentleman right there, and he pointed at me, and he's like, so, I understand you gave him a ticket for speeding. How did he treat you? That's the first thing he said. And the officer like looks at him and he's like, what? And he goes, how did he treat you when you pulled him over for speeding? Was he angry? Was he arrogant? Was he kind, respectful? And the officer kind of like stopped and he's like, no, I remember him. He was quite respectful and kind. There was no instances, nothing bad happened or anything like that. And he's like, okay, now that that's out of the way, I'll let you know that I'm his father and I'm also a police officer, and I'm just curious if there's anything you can do to help us out, professional courtesy type of deal. But the first thing he asked was he respectful? Because he's telling me when we left, he goes, had he said that you were disrespectful at all, I was walking away.
Huh. Okay. Wow.
Like, was like, okay, right on. I'm glad I was respectful.
I don't.
How's the how's it coming?
I'm not. I think I've done fucked up.
Ooh, making the moon thingy?
I think the stuff. Yeah, yeah. God damn it, motherfucker. I thought that might have been what happened. So yeah, like I needed to pulverize a bunch of stuff, and it went where it needed to be. It did exactly what it should have done. It like sent my stuff to a home.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah. Yep. You know when you were saying that, it's exactly what you thought it did. Yeah, me too.
It
Exactly what I thought it did. That
you know,
is what it
everything's
did.
connected. It sent all the stuff at Pulver, like all you know, because I needed the gold. Like I needed gold ore, lapis ore, diamond ore, etc. And so whenever like the best way to get it is we have all that nether ore. So I didn't have to go like mine it or whatever. I just pulverized that nether ore, and then it sent it
Away.
away.
To its home.
Yeah. So I managed to grab some of it, but the lapis I didn't get. I got to pulverize more lapis.
So how long until this fancy thing is all made?
Oh, I said I never pulverized lapis. The thing, I don't know.
'Cause I'm really curious what it does.
It's not going to
I'm
be
like
this
making
episode,
some
actually.
chocobo pens. I'm making some chocobo pens, but eagerly anticipating what this Astro Miner actually does. If it spits out lube, or if it pulls in like frogs and starts fucking their face,
Oh, it's definitely
like-
a frog fucker.
or what it does.
I can tell. I can tell it's a frog fucker.
You just see in its eyes, its
Yeah.
schematic little eyes. It's definitely a frog fucker. I'm making like ridiculous amounts of chocobo pens, and I'm not exactly sure why.
What do you mean by pins?
I'm just making like laying out fences on the ground based on however big I made this tunnel, which was a random decision on how big I made this tunnel to see if I can make a bunch of chocobo pens. Because I mean, you got to breed them all, right? Like with different colors and stuff to get the right colors.
Yeah.
So I'm just making pens and hoping that this odd number of blocks, like, oh, it's horrible. People with OCD are gonna hate my area because it is definitely not symmetrical.
I feel like a lot of people say they have OCD when they don't.
I would agree with that. Definitely thinking things need to be symmetrical and being like cringing when they're not is not necessarily OCD by any means. OCD is much more medically complex. It means they're dehydrated.
I was about to say is because they don't need more water.
It means obsessive compulsive dehydration. That's what OCD is. You've heard it here first from Nurse Jeff, guys. Don't forget that. And completely not symmetrical area. Love it. I think what can I do to make this better? Nothing. It will stay like this forever.
I'm building the Astro Miner now, but we have to build a base for it too. I'm curious if
Oh,
we
I mean, I did this perfectly because this is how big the airlock has to be. Yup, I knew what I was doing the whole time.
Oh god, I'm never gonna be able to do this.
Why?
Ryan drive. Because it's like a goddamn puzzle. Let's see here.
I mean, it all goes into crafting, Red Dude.
It does go into a crafting area, the NASA workbench that doesn't hold things. So I have to get it
yeah,
right the
that's
first
annoying.
time. Chest,
That would be hilarious to make
plate.
a workbench that was one bigger than your inventory.
Oh god,
That
right?
didn't let you hold things. and then have the very last item that you could possibly make from it be something that looked spectacular, like it was the best and coolest thing in the game that you worked toward, and realize once you get all the stuff, you can't make it.
That sounds like you're an asshole.
Dude, that would be hilarious, though. Because you'd have those completionists before that they realized that that was the case, who would be like, "Oh yeah, I did it." Yep. On the forum, trying to claim 100%.
Uh-huh.
It's like that Steam game that came out, Journey of the Light. Is that what it was called? That people couldn't get out of the first level, and they couldn't figure out why.
Oh yeah, there
was,
wasn't,
like,
and they finally
screenshots or
someone.
something online.
Yeah.
I found out it was like the guy faked it. He just copied like the assets over again because he didn't meet his deadline and tried to pretend that it was a completed game when it absolutely was not. But then he threw people off because he hacked an achievement on Steam saying he was like completed the second level. So
Yeah.
it gave people hope that
That's actually pretty shitty and amazing at the same time.
it is. I was pretty impressed.
We're out of time, so next episode we'll see some Orion driving, I guess.
Next episode, Orion driving.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.